This time we welcome into the infield media center Dale Earnhardt Jr., driver of the number 7 Suave Man Chevrolet. Dale Jr. will start third today for tomorrow's Aaron's 312. In 7 starts here, he has 1 win, 3 top 5s, and 5 top 10s. Dale, talk to us a little bit about the qualifying out there today for the Nationwide Series and the race tomorrow.
Yeah, the car ran good. Tony Jr. and the team at JR Motorsports put together a real good car, and the engine from Hendrick was awesome. And wasn't much to it, just held it on the mat and run around the bottom, and it does the rest.
We'll open it up for questions here in the media center. If you have a question, please raise your hand. We'll get a wireless mic to you. Please state your name and affiliation. Reed?
Yeah, Reed Spencer with Sporting News. To get off the subject a little bit off of qualifying, Dale, where did you get the snake? How many people did you try that on, and did you bring it here with you to Talladega?
Yeah, I didn't bring the snake in the cooler here, but my property manager, Sonny, has been doing that to everybody he can at the Charlotte Auto Fair over the last several years, putting a free drink sign on that cooler and setting it out near his where he parks, and he's got a couple other good tricks too that work at the auto fair, but that one's the funnest one, and he's got a bunch of good videos from his cell phone, and we just thought we were doing a quick shoot with Suave, and we're trying to figure out something fun to do with our employees at JR Motorsports, and that was one of the ideas that I came up with, and we had a lot of fun just pretending we were going to interview them and bring them in there and somehow figure out a way to get them into that cooler and let the rest do the work. So, and some people were not scared at all, and some people I was surprised at how big a reaction we actually got from some others. So it was a lot of fun, and I was glad Suave let me do that, and we ended up spinning it to kind of work in our partnership, and it's got good reviews so far, so I'm pretty happy about that.
Okay, we'll take a question up here from Monty, then go back to Lee.
Monty Dutton, Gaston is it. You don't run all that many nationwide races. You frequently run plate nationwide races. Do you run them more because you love them or because there's money in doing it? Or what's the process? Do you say, I might be willing to run X number of races, I might be running Talladega? I mean, how does that process work? Does it money put you here, or you seek the money?
Yeah, well, the Nationwide is fun to race in. I do enjoy the races, but I would much rather race in the Cup Series alone. But in saying that, the races that I didn't run, like when we go to Daytona for Speed Weeks and I'm not racing, it's a weird feeling to not be in the Nationwide race. And there's been times when you sit there and watch that race on TV, and about halfway through it, you're thinking, why in the world didn't I do something to get myself in a situation to be in the race? It wouldn't be that difficult for me to put together something to be there and compete. So, but to really answer your question, to be honest with you, my involvement on the racetrack in the Nationwide Series, in 99% of the cases, are a result from our agreement with our sponsors to package deals so we can run a full season with a guy like Eric, and we can fully fund his car so him and Tony Sr. can go compete for the championship. And I do whatever I need to do, whether it be running races or whatnot, what have you, to make sure that we find the funding necessary to be able to compete with the 88 car. And that's really the number one reason.
Lee, last quick question so Dale can go get in his cup car for practice.
Lee Spencer, Fox Sports. How much tandem drafting do you think we're going to see in the nationwide race? And has anybody called you Junior Suave yet?
That's funny. I think we'll have the whole race. I think it will be similar to the Daytona race the nationwide cars had in February, where the front of the pack, the guys up front will all be drafting together, 2 cars. At Daytona, I didn't feel like doing that all day long, and just because it's a mental mess to do it for that long of a period of time, and I had another race that was much more important to me the next day that I was going to have to do it all day long there. So I was kind of saving myself as much as I could. And I got away with it, with meaning that I didn't get lapped. But I think here it might be easier to get lapped if you don't, if you aren't willing to put yourself in the 2-car, draft for the majority of the day. I was able to run with a pack of cars and stay on the lead lap and catch a couple cautions and then get myself up through there and then start doing it at the end of the race. And so that was what happened in Daytona. But here I think that you might have to be doing it more often, at least from the very start of the race, because I think you might be able to get lapped easier here for some reason. It seems like the cars are a little the difference in speed between 2 cars drafting together and a car by itself is much greater than it was at Daytona, either due to a smaller plate or whatever. At Daytona, I could draft by myself with 2 cars together in front of me and try to hang on to them and almost do it. Here, it won't even be an opportunity to do that. So to stay alive, I think you're going to have to find somebody to draft with, bumper to bumper, the entire day. And I practiced yesterday with my teammate Eric, and our cars worked great together. And if we can find each other during the race, that'll be great, because I was comfortable with his car. There was some other guys I worked with where our cars weren't comfortable together. They were moving around and hard to drive for one or the other guy, and that's never fun.
Okay, thank you, Dale. Appreciate it. Good luck tomorrow in the Aaron's 312.